Hello there and welcome. It's time for another Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle Report, and today we're going to have a game of First Contact, putting kind of the two main teams from my premier list against each other. This is something that I did a lot leading up to the April Grand Tournament, and something that I will also be trying out for this game is I want to try and, especially given that this is a first contact match, I want to try and make the battle report a little more concise. So what I'm going to be trying to do in this is kind of summarize the more straightforward turns. So like, somebody moves to a point, pushes someone off, kind of thing. I'll try to just summarize that turn so you won't be seeing everything on that. But then if there are more impactful turns where, potential for multiple points to be flipping, stuff like that, I'll probably show those turns. And so, yeah, we're going to give that a try. I'll just shout out Matt from Wombat Tactics. We have a shared group chat, and he kind of threw that idea out there in the group chat as well for his channel, and so it was kind of like, okay, we've both been kind of thinking about doing something like that, so there's probably something to it, hopefully something there. So we kind of encouraged each other to try that out. So check out his channel. Definitely, all of his battle reports are with real, wonderfully painted models on the table. So definitely go check him out. We also have a new patron with Nick Downing. He's joined at the TV show nerd level. So thank you very much, Nick, for your support. And sounds like he's going to be running a similar list to mine at Gen Con. So good luck to Nick at Gen Con. We will watch your career with great interest. Now, my Thrawn Moff team is kind of known to be definitely good on first contact. So this will be more of a test of my Krennic Grand Inquisitor list and how it feels on first contact. So Moff Thrawn is going first. Was drawn first, reserved, and paid one to do the reposition from Thrawn, staying just in range of this point. And then we picked Stormtrooper Sergeant next. So he sent Dark Troopers up. They took out damage, and he hunkered and moved up just in range of this point. So we're sitting 2 and 2. Death Troopers going next, doing their dash first. This one took an advance around the corner up the ingress point. This one just moved a little bit to get in range of brother. Put 4 damage and a pin on him, and then just a disarm on Dark Troopers. Reserve, recovers the pin, moves the ladder, jumps to tiebreak that point. He's also body blocking the ladder here for 3, and each get a momentum. Advanced, jumped just out of engagement of Dark Trooper, threw his lightsaber at Stormtrooper Sergeant, got the shove and dash off the expertise in order to get him off, and her contesting that for 3. Death Trooper. Screen. Reposition to the other side to block the ladder. Clever ploy, dash Krennic forward, dash Moff on the other side onto that point. Shatterpoint Death Trooper Specialist, who dashes and strains 5th. Dashes again with Imperial Brutality. Shoot Dark Trooper to wound them. Krennic dashes and shoots 5th. Death Trooper Specialist does a 5 dice attack into 5th brother, and then moves onto the center for 3 points. Battle Tactic dash Stormtrooper Sergeant, bottom right. Moff goes into reserve. Death Trooper Escort dashes the Dark Trooper out of the way, and then dashes, focuses, shoots Death Trooper for wound, and gets the reposition from the full tree. Hunkers on the top right, body blocking that point for 3. Peppa was pulled, but she's not going to be able to flip a point, so she was put into reserve. Cost 2 because of Gideon. Krennic was pulled. He gave Death Trooper a dash and 5 dice attack. Basically just got rid of the pin, disarm, and strain. And then he flipped into high aspirations, attacked 5th brother for the wound. And since he's a force user, rush 2 force. Recover twice on an Inquisitor, but that doesn't matter. And then he did the Sporting Power dash and then a move in order to take that point from Gideon. And now, of course, the Death Troopers are wounded. 5th brother is also wounded. But I sent Krennic over here to steal this point because Death Troopers are still in the deck. When they go, he's going to wake up and take that point, and this one could just move over here to take this one as well. So we set ourselves up to take this point, even though, at the end of their turn, Moff is going to take this point. So they're probably just going to go with whoever's next, which is either Thrawn or I guess Dark Troopers haven't gone yet, have they? Yeah, anyway. And then, so yeah, there's no reason for Moff to go right now because he's going to tiebreak and take that. So as long as the Death Trooper goes before Moff, pushes Krennic off, then we can take that point on a turn. And 5th brother's already gone, so we're not worried about that one being flipped again. It'll be easy to just take back or keep. Take and keep. So it is Dark Troopers, which I did kind of forget are haven't gone yet. So Dark Troopers activated, pin shoved Specialist, pin double shoved Grand Inquisitor, and so flipped 1 for 3. Inquisitor, dash to get rid of the pin, dash 3rd sister, threw an attack into Dark Troopers, shoved, did the reposition, shoved again, did the dash, paid 1 for Sporting Fire dash to take that point. Now we've cleared space for Reva to jump up here and be able to take this point. She can also come over here, try to take that one as well. But we scored 3. They actually scored 4. 2, 3, 4. And so now we're scoring 2. Okay, so they're both getting momentum. Okay. So what's next? Well, it's going to be Thrawn. So after fixing the points, because Moff had that point when the Dark Troopers went, meaning they scored 4, and then GI Krennic scored 2. Now Thrawn went and just full treed poor sister. So now she's one shot wounded, pin strain, expose, got momentum, got the 4 points, and got struggle 1. That's because Visitor can just take it. This Death Trooper can just get in position for those. That one can go take that. When Reva goes, she'll be able to take that. So yeah, do we have Reva go take this, or Death Troopers go take that? Well, yeah, currently Gideon would get that, so I think that's what we want to take first. I mean, we do know that Moff is going to go next. I can't take. Yeah, I think we want to force him to stay on this point. Yeah, let's go with Reva. Then she can tell her to dash, do a 5 days attack, which has to be in a Stormtrooper. Then moves and attacks Darks. Jump to the middle left for 2 points. Risky play with Moff, but he basically just dashed 5 days attack into Krennic, which did 5 and shove. And then we did Long Live the Empire on Dark Troopers, move, did the 2 damage, which did the wound, but then they become injured again right away, so they're at least counting, and it's going to be, they can't just wound and move on to the point. They actually have to push them off. At least they are going to leave the board at some point if we don't switch the card before they go and get that or before switch the card and get the Shatterpoint where they can remove an injured token, but we shall see. Oh, I did not realize that Death Trooper Specialist hadn't gone. I guess he was my Shatterpoint, wasn't he? Death Trooper Specialist. Sergeant. It's an attack on Dark Troopers, double shove, and 2 heals. Get the damage off himself. Get them off of, so they're not contesting anything. And take 3. Now, I do think, yeah, for multiple reasons, that Moff Thrawn wants to change the card. They'll spend momentum with the newly chosen layout. Death Trooper Escort repositions the Dark Troopers to the top right and mid left, then dashes to remove the pin and does a move to be engaged with Reva. Step through on Reva for the 1 damage and a shove, which is not enough to get her off of that point, so only scoring 2, get a momentum. Of course, hungry turn, but Death Trooper Specialist dashed, gave him a strain for another damage, paid for the dash, did an attack, which only got 1 through for 2 damage. I was hoping to get the wound, refresh some force. That didn't work. Then did the fighter's attack on the Dark Trooper. That did get 3 through for the 2 shoves. And then he walked up and took this for 2 points. Oh yeah, that was after reserving Krennic because I was hoping to wake one of the supports up. Takes the strain though. Doesn't move. Takes that point. Death Trooper Escort flips that for 3. Now, the thing is, if we, as the Krennic player, if we flip, change the card, we could end up doing the one that removes. Oh, actually, is it wounds? Wounded tokens or injured tokens? Change the card. I don't think so, because Force Sister can take that. Death Troopers take that. Reva can take that. Now we want to extend the game until the Dark Troopers leave the board. Grand Inquisitor, he can also take that, so that's okay. That's fine. Oh, there's actually enough room to sit there. But anyway, put Reva here. Hopefully in range. I guess we'll put her a little closer. Dashes Reva. Moves. Shoves Dark Troopers, does a bunch of damage, and takes that for 2. We change it because, again, get the Death Troopers woken up. I mean, Krennic can take this point, but can he keep it? That's the question. This I had a lot of issues recording the game while running Tabletop Simulator. A lot of interruptions and just things freezing up on me, which also happened during the League game that I had hoped to record, which also didn't work. But now that I'm editing it, a lot of the audio where I tried to summarize my turns also didn't end up recording. So basically, the process is getting a little bit frustrating. So I've decided to give a very, very short summary. Now for the Grand Inquisitor Krennic game, both teams are, I got the X for Struggle 1, and both teams are very good at being able to send people across the board. Moff Thrawn got Fifth Brother across the board right away. Dark Troopers not long after. Krennic, Grand Inquisitor sent Fourth Sister across the board, and so she sat on a point for quite a while. Definitely the 5 dice attacks were having some trouble doing much into Fifth Brother, so that definitely caused some problems, and then maybe a bit of a misplay. Struggle 1 forgetting, with the choppy recording, that Death Troopers hadn't actually gone yet. I made some plays that, assuming that they hadn't gone, but they had, and so Moff Thrawn was able to take Struggle 1. They fought hard for Struggle 2, and Dark Troopers ended up being removed from the board, so that looked like it was going to be quite dicey for Moff Thrawn, and it's maybe where I reminded myself that sometimes even if you might be able to win in 2 struggles, sometimes it's best to just let that Struggle 2 go and then get ready for Struggle 3 and use the advantage of being first turn in Struggle 3 to win it more quickly, especially when you're not the attrition list and starting to lose your supports off the board, the 2 body support when you've only got 5 bodies. However, once Struggle 3 started, then Fourth Sister also got removed off the board, so that did even the playing field fairly well, and then the cards really went in Moff Thrawn's favor because they were basically able to pick a layout that gave them 4 points almost immediately, and then Grand Inquisitor spent a force, and they picked a layout that they were able to get 3, but then it switched back to the one that gave them Moff Thrawn 4, and back to 3. So in the end, Moff Thrawn got it, proving themselves again as being very, very strong for that mission, and so I'm definitely leaning towards that being the drop if I see first contact. I think Grand Inquisitor Krennic could have done better, but Moff Thrawn is just very, very good on that mission. So anyway, hopefully this is something interesting, a really short recap of the game. I also didn't want to go 2 weeks in a row without a video, so hopefully get some technical difficulties sorted out and be able to bring you guys some more higher quality content. But thank you for watching, and look out for more.